This program is brought to you in association with First National Bank of Botswana. The most wonderful time of the year. This is what the festive season is now infamously known as. It is also a time of much spending. The global spend during festive season went up 7% compared to the same period in 2021, where in South Africa alone, the numbers computed to 226 billion rand in 2022. Most of the spend is on food, gifts and travel to various places for leisure. But what could be of particular interest is the culture around the festive season around the world. While there are some similarities, there are quite some vast differences as to how the season is approached and or celebrated. For this very reason, we have on the program four Botswana who have seen the festive season from both the home lens and abroad. Collectively, our guests have been away from home for more than 20 years. Priscilla Ernst, a mother of three girls who's been living in Germany for 12 years, is our first guest. She has a master's degree in hydrogeology, currently working as a project manager on some EU projects and research scientist at the German Research Center GFZ Potsdam. Our other guest is Lindue Mokete, who's been in Canada for 9 years for educational pursuits. She holds a bachelor's degree in financial economics and a master's degree in data analytics. We're also joined by Wendy Ntoi, a young Botswana woman who works at a dental clinic in Dublin, Ireland. At the onset of the pandemic, Wendy moved to Ireland, where her father comes from. Her ambitions to achieve more for herself led her to pursue a BA in business at Dublin Business School, while also working full-time. Last but certainly not least is Khudirane George, an investment analyst at Advent Financial Limited, covering distressed debt situations in the United States of America and the European markets. Prior to that, he was a financial analyst at Goldman Sachs, covering EMEA prime brokerage. He holds a Bachelor of Science degree in mathematics from the University of Manchester and a Master of Science in Finance from the Imperial College Business School. Khudirane has been living in the United Kingdom since 2017. We start off first by finding out from our guests what their overall thought around festive holidays has been since moving to their new countries of residence.
Christmas celebration in Ireland and Botswana differ in various ways due to culture, climate and religion differences.
Here, Christmas is celebrated mostly on the evening of the 24th of December. They call it a holy. If I translate it directly, it's Holy Evening, Heilige Abend, and this is where they have the celebration. But it differs from family to family and also from region to region. But in general, it's the same concept all over the country.
There's definitely some similarities between Canada and Botswana when it comes to the festive season. Some similarities, I would say. It's a busy time of the year in both countries. There's a lot of shopping that happens. Stores get quite busy. There's a big tradition around putting up a Christmas tree here, and less so in Botswana. I find that Christmas decor is a lot more extravagant this side, and again, less so in Botswana.
One thing that stands out maybe probably is because of the weather itself. Like here, we have something called Disney in Wonderland, which is more of like an amusement park, so people can go together as well to celebrate, have fun, just run down a bit.
While it wasn't much of a cultural shock to our guests, the type of food and the act of exchanging gifts was something of an otherworldly experience for them.
As for Christmas shock, I wouldn't say I was shocked or anything, but it's just the difference between the kind of food that we eat at home for Christmas and here. I didn't talk about the differences between food is also one of the differences that we have. I was surprised to hear from the other friend that in their region for Christmas, they don't eat so heavy meals on this day, on the 24th of December. They eat something very light, like a potato salad and with some sausages.
A cultural shock for me after relocating was around gift giving, so exchanging Christmas gifts. That's not something that's very common in Botswana. Certainly not something that, we did when I was growing up with my family.
The cold and potential weather in Ireland can be cultural. It can be something which is something that you have to adjust to, more especially when you are coming from warm weathers. And it has been so difficult for me, of course, to adjust to such weather, more especially when it's snowy. We don't have snow in Botswana.
Well, we have something called the Christmas market, which is essentially an open market where people can buy gifts for Christmas. People come together to have a few meals and just celebrate it.
What they found quite similar was that in Botswana and where they currently live, festive breaks are common. The difference, however, is that here in Botswana, the break is much longer.
For the festive season, normally people work until the last day of working will be the 23rd of December, and it will depend on the day of the week, if it's the 23rd, it's already on a Saturday, then most people don't work on Saturdays, only the shops and other things are open, not everything. And like public servants, we don't work on weekends.
Yeah, there's offices that close mid-December in both countries, but generally speaking, I've found that the Christmas break is a lot shorter in Canada than it is in Botswana, and naturally that will have a positive impact on productivity.
Those in tourist, in heavy areas like city centers may experience the increase of sales and leading up to Christmas. However, most offices, they close, and jobs like, and companies like finance and tech are usually not impacted that much.
To be fair, when it comes to working over Christmas, I think it just depends on the type of work that you do. For example, what I do at the moment is we trade bonds. So the markets operate any time of the year, provided it's not really a holiday. So somebody has to be here in the office. But in terms of productivity and the challenge just being innovative, I don't think it has much more to that, to be fair. At this point, it's just like wrapping up the year and just doing what you have to do to keep the order flows and chase going. In terms of like being creative and coming up with new ways to do stuff.
In the end, our guests are of the view that both sides could learn a thing or two from the other when it comes to festive season culture, a tit-for-tat kind of knowledge exchange.
We live in a global world now, and there's always something that we could learn from other cultures. Broadly speaking, I think if there's any specific festive season tradition that from either culture that we would be interested in incorporating into our own, I think that would be a great thing.
I would actually say I've been fortunate enough to experience Christmas in both places, and I have learned from the experience in common emphasis on the value of togetherness and family gatherings, like more especially in Ireland, they value family that much, and in time where you find that as compared to back home, you can find that there are festivals, there are pubs which are open, but in Ireland on Christmas Day it totally shut down. It's time for family. They come together and they feast together. They have good food together.
Well, something that I would suggest more on the Botswana side, I'll probably say I think people should consider donating like clothes and food to those in less need. I'm sure there's probably organizations that are already doing that, but I think from my time when I was in Botswana, I didn't really see much of that. From the UK side, I think it's more around like just working around Christmas, to be fair. If I had it my way, I definitely would want it to be back home with my family. I think, something that I would suggest is like, companies should also ensure that like employees get time to rest off and just go spend time with their family members as much as they can. as much as we want to make money, think the other things that are important in life.
I prefer the general Christmas mood at home because people are really in high spirits there as compared to here. People are a little bit tense and they have plans that they have to achieve, and then they're a little bit stressed. And so at home we are relaxed and enjoying. Everybody is in a happy mood, and so generally I would say I prefer our Christmas spirit at home.